Hey, thank you for clicking this video. Just a friendly reminder, this is a clip from my previous live stream. And if you want to catch me live in action so you can join the conversation, just remember I live stream Sunday through Friday. That's 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And I'm going to post the time right here because I know some people don't want to Google. So nevertheless, go ahead and enjoy this video. So here is a serious statement, okay? And I need you to understand this simple fact, okay? If you really think Trump cares about immigrants, black folks, Asians, the Hispanic homies, indigenous people, like anyone non-white and wealthy, if you think he cares about any other of those people besides wealthy white people, you need to get off the pipe. I'm just saying, be honest. Put the pipe down. Take a break. Let your brain take a rest, okay? Because if you believe that, you are literally the problem. You are the problem of this country. He does not care. He is a grifter. He's a con man. However the wind blows-ish, that's where he follows. He's going to flip-flop on his morals. He's going to flip-flop on his policies. He doesn't care as long as he's getting that money. Money rules everything around him. That's simple. And here is just a little proof. Once again, we could probably have a whole segment talking about examples of how he doesn't care about non-white people. But here's a few that I just ran off memory. One, he ran on anti-immigration. He called Mexicans from Mexico rapists and murderers. And I guess some fine people. He ran his entire campaign on deport all of them, no matter who it is. Demonizing immigrants like Hitler did. And yes, I said it, like Hitler. They are poisoning the blood of this country. Hey, guess what? That's what Hitler said. Just saying. In 2016 or 2017, tried to pass a Muslim ban. Shut down the border, but let white Afrikaners, families in the country. Shut down the whole entire border. Everyone trying to seek asylum. No. Denied. Don't think so. Sayonara. Hasta la vista. But no, these white families from African can come in. I'm just saying. And then last but not least, sent his Gestapo force to brutalize black and brown Americans in the city. He ain't sent them to the suburbs. Didn't see that happen yet. So when it comes to this conversation that we're going to dive in, do not be fooled. That is not Trump. And when it comes to the H-1B visas, if you don't know what that is, this is what this is. The H-1B visa is a U.S. work visa that lets American companies hire high-skilled foreign workers for jobs that require specialized knowledge, such as tech, engineering, medicine, and science. But of course, with every good thing, there's always cons. And if Republicans really cared about this, like we're about to witness, maybe they should tackle some of these issues that progressives have always been bringing up. One, they are overworked. Two, underpaid. And three, exploited to maintain their visa. So it all boils down to Trump doesn't care about nobody but himself, and all these Republican commentators are going to bend and twist and flip-flop like pretzels, trying to defend what Trump is wanting to do now. Let's go to CNN and have that conversation.
He's not prioritizing jobs for American workers in manufacturing. Listen to this. And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put you.
How did we ever do it before?
Now, he brings up a good point, which a sane person would say, like, hey, if there's talent from outside America, bring them on in. Honestly, I'm fine with immigration. Hey, we got nothing but space and opportunity. But when it comes to these high profile jobs that require specific training, bring them on in. But that's not what Trump ran throughout his campaign. And that's why Fox News is confused, like, hey, what are you talking about? This is not what we voted you for. This is not what the hateful MAGA tards voted you for, to be nice and be fair and give foreigners, immigrants, opportunities within the United States. They didn't vote for you for that. They wanted the brown people out, and you bringing them in. That's why Fox News and the hateful, bigoted people within the Republican Party are now having an issue. Ah, man, that's crazy, right? Who never seen this coming?
It's an interesting soundbite. I mean, there are a lot of things happening there, including a huge rift actually within the Republican coalition on this issue. But that's that piece where he says, no, you don't. You don't have the talent, in response to her question.
I mean, this is yet another circumstance where the president seems to be having a very difficult time defending his own policies here. And I am someone who's generally in favor of more immigration, who's been very in favor of these H-1B visas, which have been indispensable to the tech industry. It would be great if he had the ability to articulate why these are a good idea right now, why these don't necessarily crowd out American applicants for these jobs, people who want to go seek a higher education in the United States, visiting from abroad. Being able to attract the best possible talent from around the world and bring them to American universities to steep them in our culture. Lots of them stay, lots of them create more jobs. This is not a bad policy.
I apologize. I just got to pause this. Why is Mr. Scott here, sitting here pretending as if he's listening? Why is he pretending to act like he's engaging and trying to comprehend what people are saying? We know damn well these Republicans do not care about conversation. He's just reciting. He's just trying to find what talking point, played out white supremacist, dead to right lie talking point he can spew to people. So, Mr. Scott, stop trying to sit here and like, oh my God, great point. Like, no, bro, stop it. Hey, guess what? Here's a surprise. Here's a spoiler. He has nothing of substance to add to the conversation. All right? Okay, so, sorry to spoil it for you, but...
Lots of them stay, lots of them create more jobs. This is not a bad policy.
It has been a remarkable success story for the United States, although there are cheaters in the system, that's true, and that should definitely be addressed. But to Camille's point, Trump did not articulate anything even close to that in that soundbite.
No, and it's fascinating because although I completely agree with what you said, I thought it was kind of shocking that he just said, no, you don't. Who's the you you're referring to? The United States? He's referring to the United States as some other entity, as though he's not the president of the United States. And the United States doesn't have talented workers. First of all, I agree there are not enough workers here in the United States to be able to do all those jobs. But the president of the United States just said that you, the United States people, don't have enough good, talented people in your country. I'm shocked that if Barack Obama or Joe Biden or any Democrat said that, every Republican conservative would be outraged by that. That just one line. It's the first time I've heard that. It just struck me as...
Hey, if Obama or Zoran or AOC or Bernie Sanders said something like that today, Republicans' heads would explode. What's the movie, The Kingsman? I think the first one. At the end of the movie, here's a spoiler, everyone's head was just exploding. It was a very graphic scene, but pretty amazing. That's what the Republican Party would happen. Maybe Zoran needs to say that, but I'm just saying. And it is some truth to it. And it's not really, I want to say, all Americans' fault. Once again, we have a poor education system. And for some reason, Trump feels the need to gut our education as if that's going to help it. And then two, higher education is out of reach. It's too expensive. Ain't nobody got time or the money or the resources to get that education to maybe, possibly contend with one of these jobs. So, like, it's kind of partially our government's fault why we don't have any Americans that can fill these jobs. I mean, that's kind of crazy. You know, so, something to think about, maybe.
Being very unusual for any president to say something like that.
If Joe Biden had said that, it would be, you know,
Game
more
over.
Evidence in your column that he was unfit. I think
Look,
it would be fair to say.
he was having a debate with a hardliner about immigration. She fervently believes that we shouldn't have any of this kind of immigration. Trump is in an interesting spot, as you pointed out, with the coalition. He does have people in the party who believe what Laura believes, which is this should be cut off. We shouldn't be doing any immigration of any kind, that's how you drive up wages for workers. That's a big chunk of it. He also has this interesting tech part of his coalition. They like the...
One, if you take every single immigrant out of this country and don't allow immigrants to come into this country, one, we've seen this historically, and it destroyed our economy. So that's based on historical data. So don't be mad at me, be mad at the data. And two, do you think companies are going to be like, oh my God, there's no more brown people here. Let me start paying a livable wage. Here you go, guys. No. Are you that stupid to believe that? They're just going to continue giving you poor wages. They don't care. They will literally cut their workforce to increase their profits. And we got AI now. They will figure out a way and how to put in AI to replace you just so they don't have to pay you. So once again, Mr. Idiot Scott, what are you talking about? But hey, okay, my bad. Let's continue.
The H-1B visa program, and then he's also got the agriculture piece of his coalition, which has other immigration issues. It's a delicate thing. He's got a broad coalition with really, really disparate views. I will point out he did sign an executive order earlier this year. I think it's a $100,000 application fee now for an H-1B visa. So they did move towards making it harder to get one. I think they would argue that makes it harder to cheat on it. If you're serious, you're going to pay us this kind of an application fee. But obviously he believes there's something to be gained in the United States by finding talented people, maybe with specialized skills, and bringing them here. He may not be in full agreement with all of his coalition, but he'll get some support on that out of tech and out of other industries.
So let me ask you a question. If Trump would have said, no, we definitely need American workers, would you have just made the same argument?
No.
Well, I'm not necessarily making an argument. I'm just telling you the political dynamics in the Republican Party, which is that there's not broad agreement. Some people want it, some people want it throttled, and some people don't want it at all. And he's kind of presiding over all of this. He is in an interesting position because he's known broadly as an immigration hawk, but on this particular point, he is supported by a great many people who see the value in highly specialized, talented people being able to come here.
Who are from other countries, not Americans.
Yeah, so I mean that is a point that's been made to him, and he's
that's
obviously
one of the reasons that this is a
nod-to.
rift, because Trump has sold his base on a pretty exclusionary immigration policy. Now he's trying to argue with them that actually we should let certain people in. That's why Laura Ingraham is pressing him like this. And he's not really even articulating, to Camille's point again, he's not really saying clearly what the policy ought to be. He's just saying we don't have talented people in the United States to do these jobs, which is not true. But, you know, I mean, it's also just a failure.
Are you
to
arguing that we
articulate.
shouldn't have H-1Bs?
No, I'm just saying what he's saying, that we don't have talented people, is just on its face untrue, but there's a role for H-1Bs that he could argue for, but he didn't.
I interpreted it as him
mean,
saying there's
I'm not
room
trying
for,
to put
there's room
words
for
in his
more
mouth.
talented
He just didn't
people.
make the argument.
When I was listening to it, and I listened to it carefully, I was interpreting his answer as, look, we have needs and room for the most talented people we can get. Now, it will be under the framework of his executive order, meaning you have to pay a pretty significant fee to get one, which I think they believe has controlled this to some degree. But my interpretation of it was, hey, if there are talented people that can come here, they want to be here, and they're not gaming the system, that's something we ought to look at. That's how I interpret it.
He just said, no, you don't. And he said, you'd have to get people out of the unemployment line here in order to get them into the jobs that are high-skilled jobs. That didn't sound like what you just said.
No, he was obviously saying that if you have an unskilled worker,
what you're saying and what
no,
Trump actually
if there's an
said is
unskilled
the
worker
point.
who's
Yeah.
unemployed versus a highly trained or highly educated, engineer, physicist, those are two different kinds of people who would be taking two different kinds of jobs. What he said is objectively true. You couldn't pluck anyone off the street and put them in a high-tech, highly specialized, high-trained area in that moment. Maybe you could train them over time, but if you have someone that's already trained that wants to pay $100,000 to come here and you could do it, why wouldn't?
And for the skilled type workers, he does.
And once again, that's not what Trump said. That's never what Trump has said. Trump has never, in an articulate way, explained it like that. And I would want to believe if Trump was for immigration for these types of reasons and even say, you know what, I will let immigrants come into this country if they can contribute to this country. Maybe. This is a hard maybe. Let me know what you think in the comments. He would not be president. I'm saying it now. He would not be president because he ran his campaign on anti-immigrant. So you can't be anti-immigrant, but then also be like, but there is some good ones. There's smart ones out there that can help us. Like, no, they want these racist white folks. They want their own people in these positions. They don't even want black and brown folk, Americans, in these positions. What do they call it? DEI hires? They don't care about the qualifications. They want to see a white face in these high places. That's it. It's that simple for them. Racists are not that complicated, okay? It's not that difficult to understand their mindset. So, Scott Jennings, you can try to sit here and saying wash all you want, but that's not how reality works.
It's already trained that wants to pay $100,000 to come here, and you could do it. Why wouldn't?
And for the skilled type workers, he does advocate for apprenticeship programs, right? That's the cornerstone of trying to train the American worker to do the jobs in the American factories as the manufacturing base starts to grow.
This sucks for you guys because Trump has put you in a very difficult position because as my colleagues have said here, right, if Joe Biden or any other Democrat would have said this, you'd be like, that's ridiculous.
I don't know you very well, but I can assure you that the condition of Donald Trump being the president versus Joe Biden in no way, shape, or form sucks for me or Jim.
I think it's quite difficult to defend somebody who puts you in a position of saying we should put somebody else besides Americans first, especially when he's just given billions of dollars to bail out Argentina.
I think first of all, it was a currency swap, which we made a profit on. Number two, it's quite easy for me.
A currency swap. Is that where we're going with? Is that the new talking point now? Hey, come on, get out of here. Shut up with that.
To be perfectly comfortable with the President of the United States, who's presiding over a broad coalition that does have disparate views. The previous administration, you couldn't sit here and tell me who the hell was in charge. I know who's in charge.
You're right,
of this
and I'm not going to
administration.
defend it. I'm not sitting here to defend that. So I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. So all I'm saying is if you had somebody else saying the exact same thing, would you make the same argument? Can you say that honestly? And can you be intellectually honest about that?
Trump is in a difficult political position because his base is diversified here. Some hardline.
His base is not, no. 90% of them are racist. That's not really diverse. What are you talking about? They are racist. They are bigots. They are hateful people. They do not want to see Brown around. Scott, you look like you almost got a 10. They probably deport you. Your shades almost too dark. What are you talking about? See, leave it to a suit and tie to be like, well, Trump's base is really diverse. Like, no, they racist. Who are you trying to fool here? And whoever this lady is, I know she's trying to pressure him, but you got to talk at him. You can't sit here and try to have a civilized conversation, or he's just going to run circles with talking points. Call it like you see it. Put him on the spot. Call them a few names. I don't care. But this is what you get.
Liners, some moderates, and some people who want it more wide open. But they're all part of his coalition. He's trying to find a balance, but he's trying to do what's best for the United States. He clearly thinks there is some role for the H-1B program, but he has throttled it somewhat with this application fee.
He's clearly listening to the SEC community. He's clearly listening to the manufacturing community. He's trying to strike that balance. Did he do it in an artful way in that particular interview? Not necessarily, but that doesn't put Scott and I in a bad position in terms of defending the policies. I think the policies are good policies.
What is
one dimension of this?
So he's trying to find some middle ground.
The policy is he has an
very
H-1B
decisions.
program that has a hefty application fee, which means not just anybody can walk in here willy-nilly. You got to be serious.
I thought it was America
I think
First.
you should also make note.
Are you
that
against H-1Bs?
That hefty application
I'm America
fee
First.
is also
So you're
something-
against all immigration?
No, of course not. And I'm not against H-1Bs either. What I'm against is pretending that you are somebody that you're not, pretending that you believe in something that you're not, trying to sell the American people on something and pretend like you were supporting it the entire time, and then putting you guys in a position to defend something that you definitely wouldn't defend if it were any other person.
You said you're America First. I just don't think that they're mutually exclusive. You can be America First and also recognize that there may be times you could import talent from other countries that makes America stronger. We've done that for
Totally,
decades.
but that's not Donald Trump's position.
It's
usually.
literally what he just said.
Today.
It's literally what he said.
I also.
Oh my God, I wish I was there. I would seriously wipe that ugly schmug off his face, bro. Man, this guy right here, man, somebody need to put that dude in check. Quick, man, damn.
That this is not unique to H-1Bs. There are a lot of types of labor that immigrants actually do in this country that help the United States economy. And Trump doesn't seem, I guess maybe the home health workers and the hospital workers haven't gotten to him yet, but those immigrants also count
Well,
too.
the seasonal workers who used to work in Mar-a-Lago got to him because he used to hire undocumented immigrants all the time until he got busted for doing that. And he didn't have no problem shipping jobs overseas to produce his products. But, now he runs for president. He's America.
That's simple. And like I said, it is not complicated to understand. People have short attention spans. We need to remember how Trump even started off his 2016 campaign against immigration. He literally shut down the border as soon as he got into office. Shut it all down. No pass and go, no collecting $200 for no immigrant. But he let white Afrikaners into the country, rolled out the red carpet. If you can't see that, if you don't see the racism within that alone, you are either on some hard drugs, which I advise you to put them down, go seek some help, or you're racist yourself and you're just trying to defend it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Oh. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.